After a few drinks, I went downtown to the dance clubs with friends. An hour was enough for me. I've never been into the dance club scene, so I decided to walk home. My town is a hippie town, and I decided to buy a joint to entertain me for the walk home. I approached the nearest cluster of hippie kids to buy a joint, and a girl offered me some PCP. Stupid mistake number 1. The only thing I'd heard about PCP was from an acquaintance who was a jail guard in the Canadian prairies. Told me of a guy who was on PCP in one of the cells and said he'd rip his eyeball out if someone didn't give him a smoke. Nobody gave him a smoke. Enough said. So I bought a dose. It was cheap enough. And I walked a few blocks to a 19th-century graveyard. I settled down against an old tombstone, and tried to figure out how to do the chunky white powder. I didn't have any rollies, so I sniffed it. Mistake number 2. Everything after that is a blur. I have only 2 recollections from there on. The first was a car stopping and 2 guys getting out asking, "Dude, are you alright?" I seem to remember they were cops, but if they were, I would have been hauled into the station. My second memory is being in a grove of trees, and thoroughly believing they were people. It was quite a paradox, knowing they were trees but believing they were entities. I think I was talking to them. How I got to those 2 locations is a mystery. How I got home safely is even more of a mystery. I remember a severe dissociative state, and that's about it. I guess you could call it a blackout. My only advice is to avoid PCP like the plague. I could have done anything on that drug, and not remember it. It robbed me of my judgment, memory, and free will. It is, therefore, a very dangerous drug.